Hello, and welcome back to All the Mods 10. Today, we'll be taking a look at tips and tricks of AE2, your go-to digital storage system for All the Mods 10. This video will be tips and tricks only, and it's not going to tell you how AE2 works or the underlying mechanics. That's a whole nother ballgame. So let's get started with that, shall we? So when you're starting out with All the Mods 10 or anything with AE2 in it, it's in your best interest to get your resources in line. Not only your basic resources such as iron, copper, and diamonds, whatnot. If you're planning on going to AE2, the digital storage system, it's in your best interest to get resources for that as well and start early. So in a pack like this, you're gonna have to go and get some resources for that. And what I like to do is just explore the map a little bit and try to find that little crater on the map. There we go. Here's a little bit crater right here. And smack dab in the middle should be a meteor that you should be aiming for. And you're going to find important stuff in that meteor. So did I actually mine that whole meteor? I think it's blank right now. Yeah, I think I mined it already. So let me just go and take a look here and see if I mined it out. Oh yeah, I did mine it out. I mine out everything? Yes, I did. Okay. Well, inside this meteor, well, it's missing now, but it's going to be a couple of skystone blocks and stuff. And right inside the middle, it's going to be... well, I missed one, so here's a skystone right here. And right in the middle is going to be something, some special block that you mine out in order to get your presses. And let's look that up, shall we? You're going to get maybe all these presses, but I know for sure that you're going to get the basic presses, like the OG presses, like the inscriber press, the engineering press. What was the first one again? A calculation press, and the engineering press, logic press, something like that. And you may also get like what is this? Energy press something? Okay, cool. What happened to that silicon press? You might get the silicon press as well. So yeah, mine that block away, and you get those presses. And what these presses does, it gets you circuits and whatnot. So yeah, if you can't find a meteor, you'll eventually find one. It's very easy. Just go to journey map, and eventually you'll find another crater like this one, right there. Is that crater? I can't tell. Let me go check. Oh. Oh, false alarm. Okay. There's another one right nearby. Ah, this one. All right, go over here. Ah, there's a fully intact one. You go ahead and mine this out. And there we go. This one's the mysterious cube. You mine this and you get your presses. And under that, this is important, you should grab the flawless budding Certus quartz block if you can find one generated here. Is there one over here? Shipped, flawed, shipped, damage. Oh, well. That's bad luck right there because there is no flawless one here. So you may be able to repair it, but it probably won't be the same. You're looking for the flawless one. So well, you can mine it out for the materials if you want to. Just mine out whatever Certus quartz crystals that you can get from these blocks before it goes away. It'll just turn into this eventually, unless you keep fixing it. Then you mine out the mysterious cube and you get your presses. Can you right click into it? No, you gotta mine it away, don't you? And my inventory's full. Okay, well, let's go find another meteor and see if we can find one here. Ah, is that one? Ah, there's another one right there. Okay, let me just go over here. There we go. Okay. This is a small one. And let's see if we can find a flawless one. Ah, there's a flawless one. Here we go. There it is, right there. So, if you can make yourself a cardboard box, go ahead and make one. And then you can just pick up the flawless budding Certus quartz and bring it back to your base. This one won't break. But the flaw one right there, here's the flaw one. Here's another flawed one. Here's a regular Certus quartz block here. Here's a damaged one. Here's, is that the first one we saw? Okay, that's the flawless one. So, yeah, just take the flawless one. Just leave the other ones alone, unless you want extra resources. Then you can go right ahead and grab it up if you want to. So, mine the mysterious cube, get your presses. And let me just turn my magnet off. And there you go. You got a whole bunch of presses. And you get the guide, too. So, we'll mention the guide later. We'll look at that later. So, let me just put these away. Okay. Put these away. And pick these up. We don't want to waste it. There we go. All right, fine. All right, let's go back. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. Go away. All right, let's see. Teleporter. Where did that go? Here it is. All right, let's go back. Now, once you get your Cirrus Quartz budding block, you can go ahead and start taking it back to your base. I'm not quite sure if I have any. Let me see if I have any extras here. Soul Shriekers, let's see, flawed budding Cirrus Quartz stuff. Now, well, I have one of those. We can use that example. It'll still work. Let's see, Soul Shriekers, monster spawners, more monster spawners. You know, I should have grabbed that one when we were over there. Ah, here's one. Never mind. I have one in several. Let's see. Let me put this away. Okay. Put one down. Get rid of that. Alright, so this is a flawless budding Cirrus Quartz. Just place it down. 1 block high, by the way. Just expose all the sides like that. And just let the crystals grow. So every once in a while, when you come back to your base and offload all your resources and all the resources and all the loot that you collected, just mine a couple of crystals away and you get your resources that way. And then once comes time when you are ready to build your basic AE2 setup, you're ready because you have the resources. So there's that. So another thing that you can use is the Psycraft extractor. There we go. There's the Psycraft extractor. Let me get one of those. Right there. And if you press U on it, it'll show you all the recipes that you can get from certain blocks and whatnot. So we can just like rotate. Ah, it's on the second page already. All right, so you can get Cirrus Quartz dust, and this is for the AE2 stuff. You can use a extractor. You want to do some kind of automation with it. So you place down a water source or a water block from the mod, and there's another way of doing that. So you can just place it like that. You can place a water block underneath it. You place the extractor right on top of this thing, the flawless budding Cirrus Quartz dust, and then you can get Cirrus Quartz dust every 15 seconds. Fantastic. All right, so there's that. So yeah, about the skystone dust, you can also get the same thing from the extractor, but it's all the way back here somewhere. Ah, there it is. All right, so you can use lava, skystone that you can get from the meteor. You put water, you flood it, flood the extractor with water, and then you get skystone dust every 1.5 seconds. Or you can use the water block from the mod and put it side by side with the skystone lava. More than one orientation if you want it that way, and you get skystone dust that way. So what do you do with skystone dust? Well, here's the recipes for these. You make 1 million mega storage components. You make a couple of cells with that, storage components and whatnot. So yeah, there's your AE2 stuff. And also the modded stuff as well. And there we go. Alright, so Cirrus dust. What does that give you? Press U on that. Then you get your same storage stuff. The basic stuff. Quartz fiber, very important. Tiny TNT. Quartz glass. Yeah, fantastic. So, if you are starting out with the mod pack, you basically have next to nothing really. And for storage, you're kind of like using chests like these, like that. You know, your basic chests. It's not much, but you know, you gotta start somewhere. And this is what you have. You know, just line up in a row. Put it down somewhere on the ground outside because you don't have a base yet. There we go. And then you're going to fill it with a whole bunch of junk that you got from the mines and whatnot. And yeah, it's probably going to be like all in a mess because it's like all randomly placed inside a chest because you can't be bothered and you know that's going to be something better around the corner. Something way better around the corner later down the line. And of course, after the chest, you're probably going to graduate to something called cherry drawers or oak drawers and drawers in general. And if you're lucky enough, you can also make a storage controller. If I can find it in here. Where the heck did the storage controller? Did I actually bring one out? See, now I gotta look all inside these chests, one by one, just to find what I'm looking for. And that kind of sucks, you know? So here we go. Here's a storage controller. At least with storage controller, you'll be able to see what's going on and where your items are. But, you know, you still have to look around and see which drawer has what. And, yeah. So that takes time. So let me get a certain cards here for the drawers. I'll right click that and like that and like that and like that. So yeah. So, but of course, so since you have the drawers, then you're gonna have the chest as well. And then you're gonna be opening these chests over and over. And then is it in a drawer? Is it in a chest? Or is it inside one of these drawers? Then I can't see it. So, what you can do, once you get some basic components from AE2, you can make something called storage bus. And then you can go ahead and put a storage bus right inside, right next to the storage controller for the drawers. And then you can put a few on these chests right here. But of course, there are limitations that I'll talk about later. So let me get a CRG here. And then, of course, I'm looking inside all these chests again because I randomly placed junk in it. And just wire up with some cables. AE cables. It doesn't have to be colored smart cables, by the way. It can just be regular old cables. And where is it? Here we go. It can just be regular old basic Fluix ME glass cables. And let me just do that. Okay, and let me make some more here. There we go. Because when you're starting out, you'll probably only be able to afford these kind of cables right there. And the recipe for the Fluix glass cables is quartz fiber and the Fluix crystals. So let's see, Fluix crystals and in-world transformation. It'll tell you how to make these with the charged surge quartz crystals, redstone dust, and nether quartz. Or you can do it like this. Place it in water, and you get this. But of course, you need to charge one as well. So of course, it's in your best interest to get your basic chargers right here. And there will be better options in the future in order to charge up your surge quartz. Or you can just get the energizing ore right off the bat if you can afford it, you know. All right, so just wiring this up. And of course, there's a limitation with this, since this is called an ad-hoc network. It's basically a network that's without a controller, and let us power this sucker right there. There we go. It's online. Of course, there's a limitation with this, and since this is an ad-hoc network, it only supports up to 8 channels. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4 channels. So cable can hold 8 channels. If you're using something called dense cables coming off of a controller and whatnot, that supports up to 32 channels. But of course, it's divided by a certain amount of channels. So if you use like a blue 8, you use something called a smart cable, that's like 8 channels. So if you hover over that, it'll tell you what channels they are. And if you use something called a dense cables, do I have any more of the blue ones? Oh, I don't. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay. So you put like a dense cable over here. It has like 32 channels. And of course, if you put a smart AE cable, just split some channels off, it's always going to be like 8. So this one's 8, this one's 8. And you put all the channels on all these cables, like 8 and 8, 16. This will be like 16 out of 32 channels wasted. But of course, I'm already talking about like AE2 mechanics, and this is not the episode for it. So yeah, let's continue on with the ad hoc network, shall we? All right, let's put these away. You know, let's keep that on us. And where is that particular terminal? Here we go. Here's some terminals. And then since it's already powered, let me just put another cable right there. And put a crafting terminal right there. And then a terminal right there. And let's, I don't know, let's put these glass cables right inside these drawers, shall we? And you right click that, and look at that. You see our cables inside a drawer system. Then you see all the other crap that's linked to these chests. Right there. So there we go. That's your ad hoc network. This is good for consolidating all your storage if you can't be bothered to mess around with digital storage or local digital storage. And I can show you some examples around the place, around the base, that I've used these at. And here we go. Oh, my magnet off. There we go. All right, so this is the Mystical Agriculture Farm. And I am mining all the essences and placing it inside this drawer system. So, of course, I'm not going to know what essences are in here. And maybe, well, I'll have to keep looking around the drawers and stuff in order to figure out which essences that I have and how much of each. So instead of doing that, I can create an ad hoc network, put a storage bus on this controller, and put a terminal right on it. And look at that. They're all my essence right there. And they're searchable too. So let's say I don't know how many coal essences I have. I can search for coal, and I have none. That means I haven't put a seed down for that yet. So I don't know. Let's look up some emerald, shall we? How many emerald essences do I have? I have 131 emerald essences. So if I want to look for that, I have to like look over here and look over here. What is that? That's green. What is that? Oh, that's XP. That's not emeralds. And I have to go around here and see where I placed it and stuff like that. And, oh, there it is. There's the emeralds right there. So instead of doing that, I just look inside the terminal, enter a couple of keywords, and there it is, Simple. Ad hoc network. So again, storage bus on the storage controller. That's all you need. You don't need a storage bus on every single one of these drawers. Just a controller would do. And then you just power your AE2 cables with AE2 power and slap a terminal on it. And yeah, there it is. So another example right here. I have all of these iron spells and spellbook scrolls in here. Obviously, if I want a certain spell or scroll that I'm looking for, or maybe I'm looking for that uber powerful spell, or maybe something new that I can put in my spell book. And look at all the spells that I mined from the Amber Bees. Look at that. Look at all these scrolls. I'm not going to mouse over every single one of these, just to find out which one's epic or which one's legendary. So I just slap a storage bus inside these chests, power it up, and then slap a terminal on that. And then, yeah, I can search which ones are epics. Oh, epic inks. Fantastic. How about legendary? A legendary ink. Okay, well, let me mouse over that and see what they are. Rare? Okay. Rare ink. How about hashtag rare ink? Ah, hashtag works. So you can do hashtag rare, and then I can see all the rare scrolls that are inside these chests without having to mouse over every single one of them just to figure out which one's rare. So yeah, that's another example of a ad hoc network and placing all the storage bus in your terminal, consolidating your storage, And then another samples that I can remember is the bees area. So if you come over here, there's a little pink terminal right here. And already you can see the AE2 cables like just right under there because there's a storage bus in this, and this. There's also an ME drive on this ad hoc network. There is no controller for this at all. And yes, you can place down some digital storage if you want on your ad hoc network. Slap a terminal on that, and then you can get all your storage consolidated, including all the drives that you have in here. Look at that. If you mouse over each one, you can see that I have stuff in it as well. That's great. Fantastic. All right, going back to here, and that took way too long. So anyway, ad hoc network for external storage and using the storage bus. That's a very good thing to have early on, and yeah, mid game, later game, it's useful. So yeah, let's see. It's also good for viewing separate storage networks if you want to do that. So if you come down here, here's the storage area. So here's the drawers that have stuff in, and the storage controller has a storage bus on it. And you may notice that it has one storage bus right there. And then it also has a second storage bus that's totally separate from the main ME network. And why is that? Because if I right-click this ME terminal, it tells me all the stuff that's inside the drawer system and not in the main ME system that you see right here. So yeah, that's also good for viewing separate networks if you want to do it that way. Look at that. This is all the stuff inside the drawers. That's also good for when, oh, I don't know if I made a drawer for this particular item. So I go up here, right-click that, and I can see all the stuff that's inside the drawers, such as emeralds or diamonds right there. And it's up to 512 because I limit it to 512. So if I go to my main ME network, it's actually more because I have other stuff, other diamonds inside digital storage somewhere. Somewhere. Inside compressed card somewhere. Compressed cell. A mega bulk item storage cell, which I'll also talk about later. And I don't know where the diamonds is. Somewhere in there. So, yeah. Alright, so let's go back up. And where's that area again? Alright, here we go. Alright, so going back to the pipes, the cables right here. These are not just, cables, just to connect things and whatnot. You can actually use them as a pipe as well. So, get rid of these. And then, we can get some chests here. Gonna put one over there. And then, export bus. And then, import bus. Here we go. I'll slap an import bus right there. And then, maybe put a drawer over here. Put a storage bus right there. Go away, Rain. And then I'm going to power the cable. There we go. And that's how you transfer stuff with AE2 cables. And not only it works with items, it also works with fluids, with tanks, and other compatible stuff that you can do with AE2. If you have like a particular add-on for if it works, then it works. You know, you can use mechanism chemicals to transfer if you want to do that. And I can probably show you a couple of samples here. Let's go to the mechanism area, shall we? Go all the way over here. And here's another sample right here. You can take stuff out. This is a particular item. Antimatter is regarded as an item. So you have an import bus connected to a cable. And then here's a storage bus right there on this particular drawer. And it's being taken back out of the drawer and back into the main ME network. And yeah, you can totally use it as a item transfer cable if you want to. So going back up here, with all the mechanism machines, I have all these machines wired up in order to transfer items, fluids, and mechanism chemicals. So what does this do? This one takes the products out. This one's creating substrate, I believe. Yeah, HDPE substrate. And then it's importing it back to the ME network. Let me try to find some kind of example here. Where are the chemicals one? Here we go. Rotary condensator, that has something to do with liquids and gases and mechanism chemicals and whatnot. So this one exports, what is this? Ethene back into the local network that I have down there. So yeah, that's great. That is absolutely useful right there. And not only that, you can transfer more than one item, such as this biofuel, which is regarded as an item, and hydrogen, which is regarded as a mechanism chemical. And you can transfer it right back into a local network if you want to. Or a separate inventory somewhere else, or a chest, or a compatible storage system that takes mechanism chemicals. You can do that too. So yeah, this is more than just connecting stuff with your AE2 stuff and your storage. You can transfer stuff with it. Items, fluids, gases, power, even redstone signals, you name it. Hey, if it doesn't do it, find an add-on that does it. It probably exists somewhere. So yeah, fantastic. And not only that, it can transfer items. It can also transfer at a really fast pace. So where did I place those cards? Because I don't have everything connected here. Not these chests, by the way. And here we go. Acceleration cards. They're really convenient. And you can place them on your import bus and your export bus if you have had them set up. And they can go pretty fast. And it might not seem fast to begin with, but once you get it going, it revs up. You know, it starts off slow and it revs up really fast. And I'm not quite sure if I can show you a sample. Let's see, what is this? Export bus. No, I'm done with that one. Export bus. Get a drawer here. And then maybe right click that. And then let's say, I don't know, cobblestone. We'll do some cobblestone. Here we go. And then we'll get some cobblestone here. Right there. I'll set that drawer to that. And it's already done. Yeah. All right. Get some upgrades here. Diamonds. There we go. I'm not quite sure if you can see that. I don't know. It looks pretty fast to me. But yeah. But in this example, it's pretty a little bit hard to show off. So yeah, it does rev up. So if you see, it's this little tip is more of a warning. You know, if you see something slow, such with the import or export bus, just give it like a few seconds. It revs up and it speeds up because right now it's already sped up right there. You know, so you just get rid of that. Maybe the import bus will show that. Ah, yeah, slow. See. Starts off slow, and then it should speed up. Good, come on. Yeah, going faster. Yeah, it's going faster. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Now it revs up. There it is. There we go. All right, we'll let that go. All right, so anyway, go away, Rain. All right, so next, we already talked about the ad-hoc network with all this stuff. Let's talk about sub-networks, shall we? So let's go back down here because it's the best example that I can show you. about trying to create some kind of demonstration here. So I have a couple of subnetworks here, and let me try to find an example here that's it's best to show off. All right, here we go. All right, so you see this light blue dense cable over here. That's connected to the control directly. And I have these smart cables coming off of every which way, like a tree branch. So here's another branch. Here's another one. And here's another one. And here's another one. So I break this out, and I have 6 out of 8 channels connected already. And of course, each of these smart cables has 8 channels available for you. But of course, I have several machines that I want to connect to that cable. So look at that. Look at all the stuff that I have going on here. This is like 8 channels right here. If I connect this little branch right here, the orange cable thing, with the extended ME interface, this is just going to run out of channels right click. And then I'm not going to have any channels for this one, the blue cable. So what do I do about that? Well, you create a subnetwork. And in order to create a subnetwork, you isolate this orange cable from the interface and the light blue cable. So how do you do that? Well, in order to bring stuff out and into a subnetwork, you use an interface like this one. You set up your items, your fluids, and whatnot that you want to bring out of the ME network and into your subnetwork into something called an interface, or maybe you can put it in the storage or a chest and just export it out into like a subnetwork or some kind of machinery or a chain of machinery in order to get processed and brought back into the ME network somehow. And yeah, you can totally do that. But right here, I'm using interfaces in order to bring stuff out. And I have a little import bus right here that's exporting all the items out of this interface and into a couple of storage bus for these particular machines. So I have sugar and water that's going into this particular machine. I have sugar solution going into this machine. And I have ethanol and sulfur going into this machine. And once the machine is done processing, I export out and back into the interface with another storage bus right here. So here are the outputs for that. And I'm placing it right inside the interface, and the ME network knows to take all that stuff and place it right back to the ME network. Because, of course, none of these are defined. And it's like, let's say sugar solution. That's not a very good example. Let's say ethylene. Well, ethylene is not here. So I might as well just put it back in the ME network. What the heck am I supposed to do with it, right? So it just goes back to the network. But for the sugar solution, you know, it always keeps like one bucket over here, so it just pulls from the ME network, or it just pulls from the output. Maybe it works that way. So yeah. So if you put like another bucket, even though that's one bucket right here, it'll just say, hey, well, it's supposed to be one bucket, so I might as well just put this extra bucket back to the network. And you may notice that every once in a while it says number 2. Yeah, that's what it's doing. It's taking that extra second bucket and placing it back to the network. What the heck am I supposed to do with it, right? So it just puts it right back in the network. There we go. So that's a subnetwork right there. It's to process stuff and to save channels, because right now, to this particular cable, if I mouse over it, it says 5 out of 8 channels. But of course, this whole thing is 8 channels on it to itself. So yeah, if you do it like this, then you save a whole bunch of channels, because I have one for the interface, and I think that's it. Now, I'm wondering if these count as a channel. Let's see. 5 channels on this one. What else is this connected to? Oh, there it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so if I didn't have those 4 connected down there, then it'll just say like 1 channel, because, you know, the interface connected to the cable. So yeah, instead of 8 channels, you have 1 channel connected to the cable. So yeah, again, save channels. So another subnetwork example that I can show off here is, let's see, it's around here in the back somewhere, I think. Right in the back. And there it is. Okay, let me go back here. All right, so these are the electric macerators. And again, if you're starting out, well, I got all these extra ores, and I have some basic power, and I can make some basic machines here to process those ores. Well, you can make something called a macerator or equivalent. That's important, equivalent. I'm not saying that you should make an electric macerator, but you can if you want to. Make a steam macerator or something like that. So here we go. Make something that'll process all your ores that you get from mining. And here we go. I have 4 of these macerators over here, another 4 right here. And of course, I'm not going to connect every single one of these macerators to a cable. I'm just going to break it out into a subnetwork. And Go away, raid. And then bring all those raw materials inside each macerators, let it get processed, and bring it back into the ME network. And I use subnetworks to do just that. And if we right-click this interface and look at all the raw ores that I have going on here, I bring it out into the interface. Then I define each storage bus and tell each storage bus which one to bring which one into which machine. So this one processes iron, this one's lead, this one's osmium, this one's nickel, this one's copper, gold, what is this? Tin, and this one's silver. So once that's done, I use a pipe because I don't feel like using extra channels right now because I'm limited on space right now. So basically use as some basic mech cables would do. You know, you don't even have to use AE2 cables for that. I could if I want to, but again, didn't want to deal with channels at that point, so I used the mech cables in order to bring it back into the ME network. So yeah, so instead of having 8 channels on another one of these cables, the light blue cable, I have one channel. Look at that. I have one channel on that, and that's just for the interface. So yeah, there we go. Subnetworks, fun, important. So instead of using a chess or an interface or whatever, let me try to show you another sample of bringing stuff out of the ME network in order to get processed. And I'm not quite sure where I used that at. Did I use it over here? Okay, I used one over here. And this is the ingredient buffer right here. This is from Extended AE. And this one can take fluids, items, chemicals, whatever that's compatible with it. And yeah, instead of using a chest, because obviously you can't put like straight up fluid blocks inside the inside a chest, you know. You probably could with a mod, but still. Ordinary chest, like I don't know, like a drawer. Well, there are fluid drawers, by the way, but you know, that's besides the point. But the ingredient buffer, you can put all the items and fluids and mechanism stuff inside here, and then it's all in one place, really. So if you want to like have it as an output or an input or whatnot, you can use one. You can use one. So there we go. Let's go all the way back here. Here is the controller room. And you may be thinking, oh, don't you just need one control block? No, you don't. You don't have to use one controller. You can if you want to, but it's in your best interest to build up a large controller, multi-block structure like this one. You don't have to, but you can. And it's in your best interest to do so. So why is that? So you can connect all these dense cables around your controllers like so. Because, obviously, you're going to need more dense cables in the future and more of it. Look at that. I already used up 1, 2, 3. This one's being used. Am I using the yellow one? Yes, I am. And I have cables going that way. I have cables going down on the other side. I have cables going that way to another place. And yeah, I have cables in the middle going up and down. So yeah, having a large controller means you can put more of these dense cables in here. And yeah, so you don't have to worry about channels. If you run out of another channel, well, just plug down another cable. Dense cables. So that's not to say that you should, you know, go gung-ho with your channels and whatnot. Say, haha, screw the sub-networks. I'm just put cables everywhere. And, well, you know, you should really consider saving cables. I mean, channels. So you don't have to build like a big honking controller because there's a downside to having this many controllers and having this many stuff connected to it. So you right-click it. Look at how much power this damn thing is taking up. Look at that. It's energy usage is like over 5,000 FE per tick. Well, of course, at this point, you surely have enough power to do this. So, yeah, just keep mindful of what you're doing with your AE2 network design. Because already, I'm kind of having a couple of regrets with this one. With these, I could have explored more of the wireless controllers, more of the wireless transceivers that's available through an add-on. I don't have to do the P2P, but yeah, I may have redesigned this a different way and did away with these particular cables going that way, and that way. But you know what? It looks good. It still looks good. So yeah, anyway. So again, with this big honking controller setup that I have going on here, obviously it uses a lot of power. And originally, I had dedicated power with this connected to it. and I have that connected to it. I have that one, and then I have that one. Eventually, it started blinking on and off, just going on and off, on and off, on and off. And then I realized something. Hold on, I didn't put any dense energy cells down. Look at that. Once I did, it solved the blinking problem. So yeah, don't forget your dense energy cells if it starts doing that. It'll solve some blinking problems right there. So anyway, next, there's always a wireless option. So if I press my V key on my keyboard, and there's my ME network right there. I have all the stuff inside the ME network, and I have like, ooh, that's blinking on and off. Yeah, those are all the items that just, okay, crazy. Are those the raw materials? Oh, okay, let's go back up here. All right, so this is the wireless terminal thingamajiggy. So if I go here, I have it in one of my curio slot, and this is the wireless universal terminal. It's available through, I believe, an add-on. That's AE2 library or something or another. So yeah, this is the wireless universal terminal. It has, go away, Rain. It has installed terminals. You can put a pattern encoding terminal, crafting terminal, and a pattern access terminal. You can probably put like an extended pattern encoder terminal or whatnot inside this wireless terminal. So whichever module you want to take, such as AE2 or even refined storage, really, it has a wireless option, a wireless terminal that you can use in order to access your ME network wirelessly. No more of that, oh, I got to return to the base and access my terminal, which is right here. I don't have to do that. And of course, if you're lucky, you may even have some kind of like a quantum bridge thingamajiggy card, infinity booster, uber OP card that you can add to your network and be able to access your ME net from anywhere, from any dimension, even from tens of thousands of blocks away. So yeah, that's totally okay by me. Totally okay by me. So no more having your backpacks, even though that I still use a backpack. You can just put all your loot and all the rated items that you gather from around the world inside your ME storage network and just forget about and carry on. All right, so going back to the cables, you may notice, oh, that's a nice color right there. Yellow, magenta, lime, blue, orange. It's not just for looks. You may notice that, hey, they're not connecting, and for good reason, too. They're different colors. Different color cables do not connect. So anyway, going back down here, you may notice that all these machineries are just like jam-packed into this corner over here. And well, it's kind of like unavoidable to have like a same color cable like not touch each other because you want this branch to be separate from this particular branch because you don't want it merging because well it's going to be like channels and stuff, and this one's already using 8 channels and you want this to be free. So well, what can you do in order to prevent from things to stop connecting to each other? So you can use something called a quartz fiber cable. Look at that. So since this is a sub network, I don't want the orange cable connecting to the interface because once it does, it's part of the main ME network. This is no longer a sub network if I get rid of this thing. Is it going to destroy the entire network? No, it just won't. It just won't. It just run out of channels. Things going to go offline or temporarily until you just separate it again. So you can separate it with quartz fiber. You can use an anchor. Like what's a good example to show off anchors here? Let me go back up here. All right, here's a good example. You may notice that the lime dense cable has a full-on 32 out of 32 channels used up. Look at all the smart lime color. That's important. The color is important here. Lime smart ME smart cables coming out of this thing, and each one of these lime cables is full channels being used up. So of course, obviously, I don't want these to connect to each other because I put them right next to each other. And what are you supposed to do about that? Well, I just place on these cable anchors right here. And to prevent this cable from connecting to this particular cable. So can you just use a different color cable? Yeah, but then it won't connect to the lime dense smart cable. If I use like blues, for example, if I connect to that one, obviously it won't connect to the lime. So yeah, the anchors good to use in order to keep it off each other. All right, so let us talk about the pattern providers. And the pattern providers, well, they're the basic blocks for crafting stuff in your ME network, and I have like a good example over here. This is the OG molecular assemblers with the pattern providers. Just ignore the extended part because there is a non-extended pattern providers and a non-extended molecular assembler. So what you're supposed to do is you place it inside this funky looking orientation, and you place down like a pattern provider. You're supposed to put like a molecular assembler on each of the sides there, and kind of like have some kind of checkered pattern going on here. So yeah, that may be like one of the best ways in order to do that, the OG stuff. But of course, I haven't used this in a while, and there are probably no patterns in it. So I placed all my patterns inside the assembler matrix thing, which we will talk about later. So yeah, going back to the pattern providers, one of the tips and tricks that I can show you here, if I right click that, you may notice there's a return inventory right here. So if you have like a particular machine that you can't quite pipe back to, I don't know, let's say an import bus or a return to ME network chess or something like that, just run a cable or some kind of wire or whatever, a pipe, back into a pattern provider, any pattern provider that you have close by, and it'll just go back to the ME network. It'll just do so. There it goes. There it goes. There it goes. Return inventory. Right there. Neat. All right. So anyway, a pattern provider, of course, can have more machines on it, and you probably already know that, but still, it's a good tip to know. And if you come down here, you may notice that my purifying factory right here, and then another purifying factory, a second one on the other end of this particular pattern provider. That's right, you can have more machines on pattern provider if you want to do that. And I also have the same thing right down here. I have 2 furnaces on the same pattern provider. So the ME network can pick whichever one. They can split the jobs or whatever. Have another particular part of the job be in this particular furnace. Have another part of the recipe for a different job be in this furnace that you want to. And yeah, you can put more machines on a pattern provider if you want to. And of course, if you don't want to do that, and you want to be going into a particular direction or a particular machine, you can also redirect a pattern provider to the direction of the machine that you want to go into. So here's my wall of modern industrialization machines, and obviously I packed it in, and knowing full well that I can direct the pattern provider into this machine. Go away, Rain. Knowing full well that I can direct the input and output into this particular machine coming off of this particular pattern provider, and it'll work. It will only interact with this particular machine that's pointing to, and not any of the other machines on this wall. And that's probably not a good example because this pattern provider is only connected to one machine, isn't it? But I can go ahead and show you that particular pattern provider right down here. But of course, that's also not a very good example. So I'll go around right here. So here's a pattern provider that connects to this machine and this machine. Do I want this pattern provider to go into this machine? No. Do I want this particular pattern provider to go into this machine? No. I want this pattern provider to go into this machine over here, right here, and only that one. So I just use my wrench, make it point to that particular machine, and it'll work that way. And not that machine, and not that machine. Because I already have one for this, I already have one for this. So, yeah. Neat. So let's say that I want to make a recipe for a chess. Right there. There's an ordinary vanilla Minecraft chess. If you click R on the recipe right here, you may notice that several recipes for chess right there. Of course, the common recipe for chess is using wooden planks, and there are many compatible. Holy crap, there's a lot of recipes for it. So you may notice that there are a lot of wooden planks that you can use in order to make a vanilla chess. So if you click the plus button over here, it'll use the best matched planks that you have inside your storage system. And it picked the archwood planks for some weird reason. So, of course, that'll make a vanilla chest right here. But, of course, if you run out of this archwood planks, oh no, what the heck are you going to do? I'm out of archwood planks, and I have a load of oak wood planks inside the ME network that it can use instead. So what you can do is you can turn on the substitutions right here, and it's already enabled. So substitution enabled. And, yeah, so let me just click that and disable it. So it'll say substitution disabled, but it'll say click to allow alternate items inside the recipe, and we want that. So if you click that and have substitutions on for your pattern providers, I mean your blank pattern recipes, it'll just pick the compatible items for your recipes. That if you run out archwood planks, then it'll use like oak if it has it. You use birch, jungle, or any compatible items that it can find inside the ME storage network for that particular recipe, or that particular item output. So yeah, not only that you can have substitution enabled for your items, you can have the same thing for fluid substitutions. So there we go. All right, going back outside, because I left a couple of things here. So let's say that you want to create a basic ore processing thing, and you have the blocks. You have the ore blocks. Let's say iron blocks here. And do I have any in here? Okay, I have some in here. So this is the iron ore blocks, and you can get that by silk touching, or maybe from your quarry, or some kind of like mining thing setup or something like that. And you want to go ahead and process that, but you want to get as much ore out of this one as much as possible. So of course, you just place a couple of these things down and just get your fortune pick out. And do I have a fortune pick? Here we go. Here's a fortune 8 pick. And then I can just mine that. Okay. And then I can just mine that away. And then I get 5 of these ores. Oh, fantastic. That's what fortune does. You want that to be on all the time when you're mining all your blocks away. There you go. Good old fortune 8. But of course, if you don't have fortune, then you get slightly less raw iron in order to process. So how the heck do you do that with AE2? Well, did you know that you can use an annihilation plane to do just that, and then you can also use an annihilation plane to do something else. So here's an annihilation plane with silk touch. So if you want, like, I don't know, just mine up some of this stuff straight up, you can. And this also works well with the crystal stuff that you see here. Silk touch will come into play, as we've shown off in a previous episode. But most importantly, for this particular sample, you can put fortune onto an annihilation plane right here, as I have. So what you can do is connect that to the ME network, place down your ore blocks with a formation plane, and then you can mine it up with fortune with the annihilation plane. You can enchant it with fortune. Fantastic. Go away, rain. Alright, so another thing that I can show you, that's more of a cosmetic feature than anything. You come down here. Of course, it doesn't usually look like this, because without these little blocks right here, and you may notice that this light is off, well, that's because the illumination thing with the blocks do not carry over to the facade, and this is a facade. So if I just right-click this up, oh, there's a cable under that. These are facades that hide your cables right there. And there's another one. Fantastic. So in order to make that stuff, you just make a couple anchors right there, and then you use a block. Does it work with iron? Oh, it works with iron. Oh, nice. And then if you have like cables running above ground, and it's just like running through trenches in your dirt and your backyard and whatnot, you just cover up with grass block. Look at that. Cable facades. And I have some up here that I can show you if I can find it. Is it over here? No. It's over here somewhere. And then I can show you if I can find it. It's very good at hiding. There's one. There's one. Aha! Found you. There you go. There's a grass facade. And then you just cover it up like it's never there. Cover this one up. Alright. So, yeah, those are facades. Very nice to use if you want to. And even with glass. Even with glass. So if you come down here. No, not up here. Down here. So I go up here. You can create this nice looking pathway that you walk over on. Instead of just walking over the cable. You can have this nice glass facade looking hallway thingamajiggy, or some kind of like maintenance shaft that you put down, and it'll look pretty nice. It'll look pretty nice. And not only does it work on the floor, it works on the walls as well. Like so. Nice. Alright, so it's time to get into the more of the bigger add-ons for AE2, and it's the add-ons that make AE2 shine in this pack, but of course, we don't have any other systems. Well, I guess you could use integrated dynamics, but still. Yeah, but the add-ons is what makes AE2 shine, and they are super convenient, let's say. So already we've taken a look at the extended pattern providers and the extended molecular assemblers over here. And why are they extended? Well, they just extend things because not only that you have one job of your little grid here in your molecular assembler, you have job 2, job 3, and job 4, and job 5, 6, 7, 8. You can't do that with a regular molecular assembler because all you have is just page 1. So yeah, extended. But of course, if you just take a look at the ME extended pattern provider right here. Oh, there are 4 rows instead of 1. Nice. So yeah, extended AE2 stuff. More space. Much more space. So of course, if you get into AE2, you're more than likely to find recipes for the crystal assembler and your circuit slicer. These are super convenient. Super convenient. So if you look at the recipes for this one, you're not going to give me a button for that, are you? Okay. Crystal assembler. All right, so you press U on the crystal assembler. You can see all the recipes that it can create, such as extended sport bus, the formation planes, crystal fixers, certain various AE2 stuff, and also extended AE2 stuff that you can make inside the crystal assembler. But of course, let's say what's this? Extended molecular assemblers. Let's pick an engineering processor and press R on that one, shall we? So you press R on the engineering processor. If you are using the OG AE2 mod and not the add-ons, you're obviously going to have to use the inscriber in order to do it. But of course, the inscriber can be slow. It can only accommodate this much. But of course, you can use the extended inscriber from extended AE2. I didn't make one because I just went straight to the crystal assembler from extended AE because eventually you're going to ditch the extended inscriber in favor of the crystal assembler. So not only that you have the crystal assembler, you have something called a circuit slicer. So can I see the recipes for that? Circuit slicer. Circuit slicer. Okay, there we go. So you press U on that one, and you can see all the stuff that it can make. Basically, it makes all the printed stuff, like printed silicon, printed quantum circuits, printed engineering circuits, logic circuits, and whatnot. But if I press R, let's say this is one of the OG items for AE2. So if you click that, and then you see recipes when you inscriber as well. So you click that, and it's like, you guys use the presses and everything. Okay, go away, Rain. Come on. Go away. Eesh. So, printed. So you press R on one of the printed circuits over here, and you look at the recipes when inscribers. You gotta like worry about the presses, which press goes where. You gotta put it into the right inscriber and whatnot. Well, not only that, you can use the extended inscriber in order to place in 1, 2 different kinds of presses inside the extended inscriber and do it that way. Or you can graduate to something called a circuit slicer, which doesn't even need the presses. You can just put in a whole block, and you get 9 of these circuits. Fantastic. No need for a press. Okay, so yeah, better machines with extended AE. So let's go up here. Here is the assembler matrix multi-block structure from extended AE. And if I right-click this, it'll tell you everything that you need to know about this particular multi-block. Look at all the patterns and recipes that I have going on in here. So yeah, that's what it does. That's what it does. It's a big honking multi-block structure for a whole load of room for all your crafting recipes inside here. Mind you, they're only crafting patterns, by the way, not the machinery processing patterns. But it can hold a lot. It can hold a lot. From the beginning of the series, I've been using this one and this one. And this one has some of the items in here already, but it's not even filled up. And this one has I didn't even fill all these 4 up. So yeah, these are the original 4 that I made. And I can probably make 4 more above here and be done with that. Now, the good thing is that it doesn't take like a whole load of channels. One of these multi-block structures can take up 1 channel. That's it, just 1. It's amazing. So instead of having channels upon channels from this particular thing with molecular assemblers and a cluster of pattern providers, you can just have one channel for one of these thingamajiggies right here. So yeah, the assembler matrix multi-block structure, fantastic. So anyway, let's go to the other side of the room here. And we'll get into the advanced AE mod add-on. And this is the quantum computer. And this is the OG autocraft computers right here. So in the OG AE2 mod, you're going to have to make this particular multi-block structure. And this is regarded as one CPU. This one CPU right there. And it's online, right? It's online. Let me go over here. This is probably one of those, and that's the second one, I think. So you may notice that I have a couple of CPUs going on and off. That's not a glitch or anything. That's the quantum CPU doing its business right there. And whenever there's a crafting recipe, it's like, oh, I'm out of CPUs. What will I do? Well, it just creates a new CPU on the fly in order to make your items. And once it's done, it eats it. It goes away. It dynamically makes all the CPUs it ever needs and just makes your recipes right there. It's like very dynamic indeed. So yeah, that's what the quantum computer does. And you don't even need to make it this big. All you need, if you don't have enough materials to make this multi-block structure, you can just make this little thing right here. Where is it? If I can find it. Where the heck is it? Nope, not that one. Okay, let me just advanced AE. Okay. And quantum? No, it's not called quantum, is it? Let me look up 256. Here it is. That's the quantum computer core. You can use this by itself, and it'll still work. And it provides 256 million crafting storage and 12 old processing threads. Nice. So, of course, since it says 12, we can only do like 12, right? Okay. I'm not quite sure. I haven't seen any limitations with it yet, but if you build this big honking structure, I haven't seen any limitations, really. I don't know how far it goes up, but this is all you need, really. So yeah, that is the quantum computer. So let's see. CPU on the fly. Okay, got that. Oh, right. Let's go down here. All right, so we're back in the machines room, and if you're dealing with automating your machines, such as your mechanism machines, you may run into an issue if you want to automate that thing. Namely, you're going to have to automate the ultimate combining factory right here. And this is the ultimate version, and the regular version, the base one, is the combiner right here from Mechanism. So if you press U on that, you can see all the recipes that it can do, such as, I don't know, purple dye, mixed with pink dye gives you magenta, black dye mixed with white dye gives you light gray, and you have a couple of recipes as well. And you may notice that they're all items right here. There are no fluids, no gases, no chemicals, no energy, whatever. They're all ordinary items right there. And you know what? That's kind of an issue, because this right here, that's the extra slot right here. That's the extra item that you need to bring into the machine in order to combine it with your input. Very important word, input, in order to get your output right here. So if you have only one pattern provider, what the heck are you going to do? Because you only have one side to input the stuff. So if you look at the slots right here, here's the pattern provider. It's supposed to be an input that goes into red. But of course, if I go over here, and let me just pick a slot that's kind of random, that doesn't mess up anything. So here's none, here's an input, here's an output, here's input and output, here's energy, and here's extra. So the extra is supposed to be the extra item that goes over here. And here's the top part, that's the input right there. That's the red part, the right there. So obviously, I can't have input and extra on one of these. It has to be separate. So what the heck am I going to do? Well, Advanced AE solves this with the Advanced Extended Pattern Provider with its Advanced Processing Pattern. So let's take a recipe here. Clear that. And then I was making obsidian with that. So let's see if I can find a recipe for that. Here we go. Here's the obsidian recipe. So I make a recipe for this. Do that. And of course, if I just use this straight up inside pattern provider, it's not going to work because it can only go in one side. It can only go here, or maybe here. I'm not sure if it goes here. This is just an output. So it'll either go here or here, but not both, because I need to separate these items. Look at that. Then I need to figure out a way, maybe like, I don't know, load the, what's the recipe again? Cobblestone, right. So this is, hold on, let me do obsidian here. And go to the combiner here. Does it need to be cobble deep slate? Okay, it needs to be cobble deep slate. All right, so the cobble deep slate is an extra materials that has to go into the extra slot right down here. So if I put that into the pattern provider by itself, it's, well, where does the cobble deep slate go? Should it go in the input or the extra? I can't just split this and place it into here and here because it doesn't know. It doesn't know where to go. Of course, obviously, I could devote this combining factory just for making obsidian, which is by the way, and just have cobble deep slate like piped into here all day, every day, and have a supply at the ready wherever I need obsidian. You know, just like down here that I've done right there. And I'm not quite sure what this is. Yeah, osmium. So this one is importing osmium from the ME network and whatnot straight up into this compressing factory. And this is like a dedicated machine. You know, it uses osmium. I might as well just put it in the extra slot right here. Coming up from the top. So you go here. Here's the extra top. And then from the back is an input and output for inputting whatever stuff that I need to put in here and whatever stuff that's coming out of here. So yeah, that's a way to solve that if you don't have advanced AE. But of course, that's before I found out about the advanced extended pattern provider. And what this thing does is you can tell it where on the machine to go, which side to input and output stuff, if you configure it correctly. So here's our regular pattern recipe for the obsidian. So that's not the final step, by the way. Let us go ahead and get our little advanced AE tool, which I left inside chest somewhere. All right, let me get the bed. Stupid rain. All right. Where was that stuff? Okay, there it is. All right, let's see. Where did I leave it? Okay, here it is. So in order to configure this little pattern recipe into advanced one, you need to use something called an advanced pattern encoder. So you right-click that one, you place the recipe in the slot right here, and it'll tell you what the items are involved inside the recipe. Here's the output, here are the input items right there, and then you can tell it which side of the machine each of these items go. Let's say here's the extra right here. Here's the cobble deep slate. I want it to come in from, I don't know, the back. I want it to come in from the back. Can I do that? And let's see. Which one's the back, by the way? Okay, let's just pick the north right there. I want it to come from the north face. And then I can just go back to the machine and set the extra slot to be a north. And then for the input item, I want to come in from, I don't know, the south. And then I go to the machine and set that to set the input to be coming in from the south. So let's go back down there. And I'm not quite sure which one I set which sides I set for this particular pattern, but let me just get this one. And yeah, here it is. So the obsidian dust, which is an input, it's coming up from the upside. So the cobble deep slate is coming up from the south side. So if I right click this one and go back to side configuration, and here we go. The top part is the input, and the back part is should be south, by the way. The back part south, and the back part is an output. So yeah, following the recipe, which I set inside the advanced pattern encoder for this particular recipe, not the other one, We're using this as an example right now, and yeah, it'll work that way. It'll just put the obsidian dust from the up part of the machine and put in the extra cobble deep slate into the south side machine. And you know what? This pattern provider is connected to the back side of the machine. It's only one side. And you know what? I can put the pattern provider on the top. I can put it on the bottom. I can put it on the front or whatnot. It's the advanced processing pattern that tells the pattern provider which side to put the items into wherever on the machine. And it doesn't matter where the pattern provider is connected to on the machine. So that's the important part. That's the important part. Telling the pattern provider which side to put it in. So yeah, that's the advanced pattern coder right there. All right, so very convenient. You can define sides, define your sides, and let's see. Talked about that. Talked about that. Ah, yes, of course. Let's go ahead and talk about something that's recently added into the mod here. Go all the way over here. All right, so this is the mystical agriculture place, and you may notice this funny looking quantum crafter block on top of this damn thing. And if I right click this thing, oh, look at that. I have a pattern recipe for dirt. Dirt of all things. So what this does is I am connecting this to an ad hoc network that I've shown you earlier. And it's connected to the sub network right here. So if I right click that and I go and search for dirt, and look at that, 1 essence, because I have this quantum crafter at the ready, just making dirt out of this drawer system and just placing it back into this chest over here. And then I have the modular router over here. Is this on? Yeah, it's on. Bringing whatever is inside this chest back to the MU network, and there's all my dirt right there. And how much dirt do I have right now? Okay, we're up to 5x. Okay, great. All right, so what the quantum crafter does is, well, it just keeps things topped up, and it crafts things. It's in the name. So you can put pattern recipes in here. Does it work with this one? No, it doesn't. Okay, well, that's different. So you can put regular old pattern recipes in here. Namely, you can go ahead and place in some Inferium stuff in here as well. Do I still have the pattern providers for that? I have this. Let's see if I can make this one work. Right there. There we go. So what this does is it takes Inferium essence and the master infusion crystals and makes prudentium essences out of it. And since I already have Inferium essence in here, I have like almost 40 million essence in here. I can go ahead and make a whole bunch of prudentium essence, but I don't want to make a whole bunch of it. I don't want to end up making all 40 million because it'll take a long time. So I can configure each of these patterns to keep, let's say, I don't know, a big number, I guess. I don't know what the limit is, but I can just press 9999999 on this, right? So yeah, you can define how much you keep inside the storage that's connected to, such as like I don't know, ME network or sub network or whatnot, or ad-hoc network if you want to, and then you can define it that way. But if you keep at 0, it'll just be like infinite or something like that. Let's say for the output, I want to make 10 and only 10. That's it. Just make 10, which doesn't make any sense, but you can do that. You can do that. So of course, the system doesn't have a master infusion crystals, so I'm gonna get a master infusion crystal right here. And is it connected to this thing, the storage? No, it's not, huh? And you know what? Can I? That's an output. Oh. Huh. Okay, then. Okay. I can place that. I know. Get one of these. Place that here. Place that right there. I don't want to have to, like, mess up the chest here. And then the linking tool. Think of that one. There we go. Now it has it, right? There you go. There it is. Okay, so I'm just going to turn this on. And look at that. It creates Prudentium Essence. And it's not stopping, by the way. Even though that's at 10. Because this particular chest is not connected to the subnetwork. If it is, it'll stop at 10. So, yeah. Watch how you're configuring this thing. So not only that you can create Prudentium Essence, you can also create another pattern to go from Prudentium into the next tier if you want to. So yeah, already you're saying, hey, that's great for making Supremium Essence. And you're right. You're right. And hey, this block looks familiar. And yes, it does resemble the RF Tools Crafter. And no, it's not in here. That's why it's created. Just to replace the RF Tools Crafter in the meantime. And yeah, there are other ways of crafting all this stuff, crafting Supremium stuff, such as molecular assemblers, auto crafting AE2, you need the Psycraft Crafter or Fabricator, wherever it's called, Enderio Crafter, you want to make that work. And yeah, that's the Quantum Crafter, and it's fantastic. Clear that, put that away. Here we go. Have slightly less Ethereum now. So yeah, Quantum Crafter, very convenient. Keep stuff topped up, and you can do nested crafting, such as the Ethereum essences into Supremium if you want to. So of course, there's another way to keep things topped up, and this was in here for a while. And let's go all the way back to here. So let's say you want to keep things topped up. So in order to keep things topped up inside the ME network, you can use interfaces to bring stuff out. And let's see, where can I show you that? Let's see, ME network. I guess these will do because let's say you want to keep one piece of sugar outside the ME network. Well, you can do that. You can place the little sugar right there, and look at that. It just brings the little piece of sugar right inside this little ME interface thing, and it's right there. Just go and grab it. And once you grab it, it'll just replenish it if it has extra inside the ME network, by the way. And hey, if it's out of sugar, you can tell it, hey, it's okay to make more and put it into the slot right here with the crafting card. So that's one way to keep things topped up and ready to go. But of course, there is a block for that. There's a mod for that. And let's go back up here. And this is the ME requester. So if you right click that, I have 600 uranium ingots crafting, topped up, ready to go at a moment's notice. And you may notice I have that set up for the sugar as well. I have 600 being topped up. And I also have 600 pieces of paper, sheets of paper, at the ready. I also have like 10 invert hammers. Is that true? Is that true? Are you doing your job? Okay, there are all the ore hammers. Boy. Ah, there you go. There's the 10 ore hammers at the ready. Okay, great. Fantastic. So yeah, that's the ME Quester. I have two of these on here, by the way. I have the little tablet of cloud shaping at the ready. I have the smithing template. I have two of these at the go at the ready, so I don't lose one. Because they're a little frustrating to get. A little frustrating. So yeah, that's the ME Quester. Keep things topped up another way. So of course, when dealing with the AE2 network, it's not just for the items. Because we are in the items room, by the way. So if you right click all these chests, look at all the junk. Look at all the items that's in here already. And whoa, what was... Okay, I gotta deal with that. Look at all the chests filled with junk and whatnot and stuff. And some of these you may want to store inside cells. Some of these you may want to keep in a chest and whatnot. But over here, I have like cards for mega bulk storage. Look at that. 4.6 million of iron ingots, 3.6 million of gold. And this is like an infinity storage drawer, but for a storage cell. So this is from a mod called Mega Cells. And you can totally make one. You can totally make one. And it also has a particular upgrade. And that is the compression thingamajiggy, compression card. And it's from a mod called... Oh, same mod. Okay, well, Mega Cells. So if you install like a compression card inside the Mega Bulk Item Storage Cell, it will go ahead and compress it into its compatible block. So if you search for iron, you may notice there are these compressed blocks right here. Right there. And also, as an added bonus, you can make something called a Mega Decompression module. So when you go in here, it has the ability to go up and down the chain of compressed blocks right there. So these are not defined recipes, by the way. These are defined by this little thing right here. So I don't have to make recipes for that. Great. Fantastic. So not only that, you can store items and lots of it inside your ME network. Install fluids and chemicals and whatnot. Look at that. I don't know what those liquids are, but they're liquid or a chemical inside the ME network. And I could look up things like hydrogen. Don't reload the shaders. Hydrogen. Hydrogen. There we go. Look at that. I have 789,000 mechanism hydrogen. I have 229,000 buckets of hydrogen for modern industrialization. And you know what? I have 2.1 G of water right here because I have a special cell that is the infinity water cell right there. This is from Extended AE. If you need water inside your ME network, you don't even have to worry about kindred sinks and whatever. Just install one of these things in here, and you get an infinite amount of water all day, every day. no matter what. So not only that, you can get infinity cobblestone cells. And not only that, you can get infinity whatever in a storage cell form. Look at that. You can get infinity lava cell. I should really make one of those. You can get infinite dirt. This is from there's a custom recipe from QJS. Infinity moss block cells, infinity andesite, diorite, and whatnot. But of course, this is only custom to the pack. So if you install extended AE, you get water, you get cobblestone, and that's pretty much it. Okay, great. So of course, if I look up cells, you can find all the storage cells that you can store inside your AE2 network that that you can store. So let's say you want to store source from Ars Nouveau. You can do that. And I should make a couple of these cells just in case. Of course, mega cells. You can store a ton of stuff inside these mega storage cells. Look at that, 4 million, 16 million, 64 million, 256 million. And you probably get the creative cells too, right? Somewhere around here. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Not only that, you can store power if you want to in order to power your machines. I haven't done it, but you know, you can do that if you want to. You install mechanism chemicals, you install fluid cells again, and what other stuff that you can store? Source and, oh, that's about it. Okay, great. So yeah, very convenient. Very convenient. All right, so go ahead and store all the things. All the things. There are different types of cells that you can use. So okay, so finally we have the last little tip and tricks, which I kind of misplaced. It's probably in a chest somewhere, and let me go and get it. Alright, is it in here? Is it in here? Is it in here? Nope. Is it in here? I should use the terminal, don't I? Oh, it's out of power! Oh no, I moved it! Nope, not in here. Not in here. No, not in here. Okay, I misplaced it. Okay, oh, there it is. There it is. There we go. Okay, this is the AE2 guide, and not only AE2, it has the add-ons for it as well. So you have the extended AE, you have advanced AE, you have the ME requester, and you have the ME2 import-export card. So you have all the add-ons explaining you stuff and how it works. So it also tells you how the AE2 mechanics works. It gives you examples and whatnot. Here's the auto-crafting stuff. It gives you nice diagrams that you can rotate, look around, see how it works, mouse over stuff. And yeah, you can follow basic guides here. Let's see, sub-networks. There are sample setups for Amethyst Farms. A sample main network that you can build and follow along if you want to build it this way. You can also build like a bucket emptier, filler, cell dumper filler, furnace automation, interface auto stocking, item fluid pipe subnets, recursive crafting, throwing in water automation, cleanliness, simple service quartz farm. Where's the Fortuner? Where is that? I don't know where it is. Processor automation, maybe? I don't know. It's somewhere in here. Oh, here it is. Automatic or Fortuner. There we go. That's what I was talking about with the annihilation planes, that you can chant with fortune and stuff. Yeah, you can totally do that if you want to. And it tells you that in the guide. So this is a fantastic guide. So if you don't know something, you can just probably find out inside one of these in these categories. So great. So yeah, fantastic. So yeah, that's the tips and tricks of AE2 and digital storage AE2 that I can tell you right now. And it's is it everything that I can tell you? Well, probably not. Does it explain how to set up like basic AE2 mechanics and stuff like that? No, it's not. It's just tips and tricks video. So hopefully you find something useful and helpful in your journey through AE2 digital storage. So yeah. So I've been FumbleBlock, and this has been another episode of All the Mods 10, and I'll see you next time.